I think it was last month, right before this drop. Yeah, that maybe it was the 16th or something. And I was saying if we break higher, it's worth going with it. We were very strong. We were basing as the 20 MA, which is my blue line on this chart, was approaching from below. And this is a typical, you know, push the market higher kind of play. I did have a caveat though, which was unless we break down below the 60213 from 1210. And as it turns out, we did not break higher and we broke lower. The other thing I was saying was if that were to happen, look out for a lower high, because the lower high would be the entry point on a short, or at least the chance to get out of longs before going lower if that were to happen. And that is what happened. We actually went into a little downtrend. How do I get my notes on here? Okay, so see what's happening here. We actually get a little downtrend going. So I was very bearish, honestly, until today. Today was an important day here, and that's because we broke above these prior highs. To me, the trend continues as long as we're making lower lows and lower highs. 1 second. Oh, there it is. Let me solve this out here.
Robert, I'm sorry to interrupt. When you say lower lows and lower highs, are you saying that the trend going, the downward trend?
Lower highs and lower lows. Did I say something else?
I just want to, which trend are you saying?
The
We're going with
downtrend
the
that we
up.
were in until today in
Okay.
the daily chart, not on any other time frame. I'm specifically talking about the daily time frame here that
Okay.
broke down. I mean, it didn't get past major support. It actually broke right to minor support, which is the place you'd expect buying to pick up. And it did, but it made that lower high, which is very significant to me. That indicates to me, I mean, we're not in a downtrend until we get a second lower low. And this is just my opinion. Lots of, anybody can have their own thoughts on what constitutes a trend. Mine is a series of lower lows and lower highs for a downtrend. So we broke that today, though, is the big point. We got one more lower low here. And I was already to be very bearish a couple of days ago. Right in here, this little rally up to that declining 20 MA, there was just one tell in here that might not happen. We might not get the reversal and then continue lower, which is what I generally expect when we're in trend. And the reason the tell was, to me anyway, I play gaps every day. This day, the 15th, that was a very bearish, a very bullish gap. Notice we got to the low and made the green bar. Then we have the red bar. And then on this day, the 15th, we gap up significantly over that red bar. That's bullish. And we didn't get too far that day. We got stopped by, I say the 20 MA, it could be anything it is, but I look at that moving average and say, yeah, this is where we should reverse if we're going to continue down. Well, we held up, we gapped up yesterday, but still in front of the prior pivot. which was set on the 6th of January. But today we gapped up above that and even went higher above that prior high. So this is now a failed downtrend. It's not an uptrend yet to me, but I wouldn't look at going lower anymore. All we have to the left of us now is this couple of weeks of supply, which was kind of exactly what we had last month. And I'm kind of thinking the same thing. If we break higher on this, we're higher. Anything can happen, and I don't think. Well, let me bring up another time frame here because this helps it a lot for me. This, like I say, this daily chart has just become sort of bullish again after a month of not being so bullish.
There was a
But
gap there, Rob.
what's that?
There was a gap on the
Yeah.
last.
There was a gap on the 15th,
Yeah,
January 15th, over red,
right.
pretty bullish.
Yeah, okay. I'm just pointing it out.
Like we hit a new low for 2 days and then we're right back testing that prior high. And now we're above it. So that's all pretty bullish. And then if we go out to the weekly, we see it's been a little jumpy. I'm now looking at the weekly chart of the SPY. Make it a little bigger so we just see that. There. So the initial drop, that's the bottoming tail from that, the week of the 20th of December. And then we started to rally, we went lower. That was that downtrend continuing. And who was it, Ethan, that you said was asking about engulfing? Yeah, Dietrich, who I understand is in here, but was asking about this engulfing. This is pretty powerful. I just call it a second chance buy setup. We're still at the 20 MA. We're above it now, but we basically held it. And it took a second chance. The first week we set a low at 580.91, and then retested, went a little lower. That all showed as a downtrend in the daily. But notice what's happened now. We've completely erased that huge red bar, pretty big one anyway, with a nice big green one. That's been the last week of trading. And this is a weekly buy setup. So if you're trading weekly charts, this is an entry here. I don't know that it's a great entry, but it is an entry on this reversal bar and the multi-bar pullback to the 20 MA is a long to me. And there's one more thing to look at here. If all this happens, this is a monthly chart now. Notice that the one thing that bugs me on this is we are way up. The 20 MA is way back at 511.56. So in theory, to my analysis, we could pull all the way back there and still be bullish. But that said, we're still climbing higher. This red bar, if overwritten on the monthly, is going to present to me what I call a continuation play, where you get a green bar, you get a red bar or two, and then you pop above both or the bar. And that's what it looks like is happening here. So I like us higher. I'm a little tentative about going higher until we actually break that prior high. But I'm the same as I was last month. I'm passive about a long, but I like the outlook higher here on all three time frames, on the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. Problem with the daily, there's just no entry because you're going to have to stop it way down here. And that's what you have to do on the weekly. I mean, it's just on the weekly chart. I generally look at bigger targets. So that's where I'm at. I'm bullish, but not jumping right in, but holding all longs for now. Holding all longs.
Huh.
All right, that's my story. Any questions?
What is
Well,
the
just my
monthly look like?
opinion, by the way.
Watch the dollar, watch the dollar.
Watch the dollar.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't watch the dollar.
watch the euro dollar.
Yeah.
You'll see it all happen right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about that when you talk to Bob about how the dollar would relate to this?
Wait a minute, I might have a damn chart on. Wait a
Bob, what is Robert, what does the monthly look like? Or does that matter?
No, the monthly matters. The monthly is a continuation play if we go higher. It triggers if we go higher here.
That's like a cup and handle.
Yeah, I don't know cup and handles, but
Mhm.
I know a lot of people watch for that stuff. I don't actually know what they are. But I call this a continuation play, and it triggers over 609.07
Wow.
as a monthly entry. You know, with a stop down at about 570 is what I would do if I were taking that play.
I have to hand it to you because you really hit it right on the nose last month.
I did.
You said, it could go down, but the likelihood is that it will continue to kind of move at least the same or perhaps gain some. And that's just what happened.
Yeah, with a little downtrend in between, right?
That's right. But
But
you eliminated that in your little discussion. You said
Yep.
you may struggle a bit, but it will be there, in a month, you're still going to be okay. And that was your conclusion, and you're right.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's the same conclusion here. I think I'm still on the same page. But again, I want to see the high broken before starting to look for plays. You know, the other play was to do it down here somewhere and assume we're going to go higher, but I generally don't do that personally. I do it in day trading, but I don't like to do it.
So to summarize, you're saying the magic number was 608.88 or about,
Oh, for longs?
yeah,
609.07 is the prior high. And what I generally do is I like to see that broken. And then after it's broken, I would start to look for entries.
I see.
You know, like to me, the entry, I mean, I'm probably being confusing here because on the monthly chart, that is the entry, right? That's the
Right.
entry 609.07. I don't really take that play, but if we do break out over that, I might take daily plays or shorter term plays on pullbacks after we break above that.
Right.
And the weekly, you've got it now. I mean, you can end, well, the weekly entry was 599. Well, actually it was 592.60. So yeah, it's $10 late now. But depending on how you draw your entries. Anyway, so the weekly charts that go now, the daily and monthly aren't to me. And but I like higher. I do. Well, we'd have to get under, 570 to make me bearish again.